Good morning. My name is Tom Brady, and I'm the Associate Dean for the Public Services Division and the Director of the Homeland Security Training Institute here at College of DuPage. We appreciate you taking time to participate in our virtual commemoration and remembrance of the terror attacks that took place in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania on September 11th, 2001. Today is the 19th anniversary of that event, and every year we gather here at the Staff Sergeant Robert Miller Homeland Security Education Center in front of the I-beam to remember and honor those who lost their lives on that horrific day. Approximately 3,000 persons were killed on September 11th, 2001. During these attacks, which included 343 firefighters, which included a chaplain and 2 paramedics, and 71 police officers. These heroes lost their lives running into the burning buildings, trying to save lives. As we begin, please now join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I am joined today by our speakers, Student Trustee Samaya Syed, Keith Creston, Fire Chief of the Lyle Woodridge Fire District, and Roy Newton, Chief of Police of the Lombard Police Department. We are also joined today by 11 of our police recruits from the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy, or SLEA. These individuals who represent Class 2101 are each veterans who have served our country, and they are now training to become police officers. Thank you all for your service. The president of the college, Dr. Brian Caputo, is traveling and could not attend today, but he recorded the following video message.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Brian Caputo, the president of College of DuPage. 19 years ago, on September 11th, 2001, millions of Americans began their day like any other. However, by 9 a.m. Eastern Time, reports of an airliner crashing into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan began to dominate every news outlet. A mere 16 minutes later, millions witnessed a second plane hitting the South Tower. It was the most devastating terrorist attack on civilians in our nation's history, one that would leave an indelible mark on our lives and our country. This morning, we gather together to commemorate 9/11. We remember the lives that were lost. We also pay tribute to the service and the sacrifices of our first responders that day, those who survived and those who gave their lives to help others. We also reflect on how 9/11 shaped us as individuals and as a nation. People from all walks of life united together, sharing their grief and their determination while standing proud as a country. Housed within the college's Homeland Security Education Center is an I-beam from the World Trade Center. It serves as a reminder of how our resolve was tested. And may we never forget that it also represents the ultimate sacrifice by those who devoted their lives to service.
Dr. Caputo. Please join me in welcoming our first speaker. Samaya Syed is a College of DuPage student and currently serves as student trustee to the Board of Trustees and as an officer of the Student Leadership Council. She plans on transferring to UIC in fall of 2021 to pursue a degree in chemistry. She is passionate about human rights and engages in advocacy efforts on a regular basis. Please welcome Samaya Syed.
Thank you, Tom. President Caputo, thank you for your very profound and thought-provoking words. It's an honor to be here with you all. Chief Newton, Chief Creston, community members, and most of all, families, friends, and survivors of 9/11. It is a great honor to be here with you on this day, a day to honor those who have been lost, to honor the memories of the heroes on that tragic day. The first responders, firefighters, law enforcement, emergency services, civilians, comrades who lost their lives and put their life in the line to protect others and to protect humanity, and act with conviction and values of principle rooted in the utmost regard for humanity above all. On this day, we come together, we unite to remember and never forget the 3,000 beautiful and precious lives lost. The men, women, and children taken from us so cruelly and devastatingly on that day. Those whose lives were lost saving others, people they had never met, storming the cockpit, rushing up 17 flights, and leading each other to safety. We honor their sacrifice, and it fills our hearts with hope and gratitude. We honor their sacrifice, and it fills our hearts with hope and gratitude. They live on as heroes and the beacons of hope that guide our nation's people. We look to them today to strengthen our resolve in unity of humanity and of all that binds us as Americans. We renew our commitment to serving humanity in any way we can and to making the conscious decision to make a positive impact in this world, to being courageous and to inherit the legacy of those who sacrificed so much so gallantly. We are a country of immigrants, immigrants who bind together as one American family. We stand together as one regardless of ethnicity, religion, background, and beliefs. And this memorial makes us more resolute in our belief in high moral values and ideals of unity, in risking our lives to save others. That is the legacy of 9/11, one we carry in our hearts. We are the inheritors of this legacy, and we must uphold their sacrifice, live up to it, own it in every sense of the word. We are a nation of caring, empathy, and of helping and supporting each other. We are a country of unity. In unity and sacrifice lies the sanctity of this nation's cause, and also of protecting humanity and human life. Today, we as a community, as a people, and as a nation, honor the memory of the victims of 9/11 and respect the sacrifice of our heroes. We unite our multiple perspectives, cultures, and backgrounds, and together recommit to the value of life above all else. Honor to the soldier and sailor everywhere who bravely bears his country's cause. Honor also to the citizen who cares for his brother in the field and serves as best he can the same cause. Abraham Lincoln. Thank you.
Thank you, Student Trustee Syed. Our next speaker is representing the Fire Service. Please welcome Fire Chief Keith Creston of the Lisle Woodridge Fire District and the President of the DuPage Fire Chiefs Association.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning. Good morning. I'm honored here. My name is Keith Creston, Chief of the Lisle Woodridge Fire District. I'm honored to represent the Fire District this morning and the DuPage County Fire Service. On September 11th, 2001, 19 hijackers using 3 commercial airplanes, Flight 175, Flight 11, Flight 93, all filled with passengers, attacked our homeland in New York City and Washington, D.C. A 4th aircraft, Flight 77, was brought down by passengers, overcoming the hijackers and taking control of the aircraft before crashing into the Pennsylvania countryside. By day's end, 2,996 lives were lost. That included 343 firefighters and 75 police officers. We stand here today because we swore to never forget the lives that were lost, the families that were broken, and the heroic efforts taken to save many other lives. From my perspective, that tragic day, the videos and the photos of the firefighters looking up the staircases and ascending those staircases on the north and south towers will leave a lasting impression of duty, honor, and service above self. I struggled at first to understand if the firefighters even knew that they may not survive. Today, I am confident that each firefighter that ascended those stairs did so knowing that they may not return, but also knowing that if they did not help, no one would survive. 19 years later, we continue to pledge to never forget the tragic events of 9/11 and the firefighters and police officers that made the ultimate sacrifice on September 11th, 2001, by putting service above self. May God bless the police and firefighters that continue to serve and protect. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Creston. Our next speaker will be representing the law enforcement community. Roy Newton has been a police officer since 1995. He has worked every position within the Lombard Police Department, including front desk, community service officer, patrol officer, detective, supervisor, deputy chief, and now in his current position, chief of police. He's also been an instructor at the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy for over 20 years, so he's fully committed to the training of new police officers. Please welcome Police Chief Roy Newton.
Good morning. Thank you, Dean Brady, students, Chief Creston, our fellow recruits, both behind me and upstairs. It is my honor to be here to remember that day. It is also my honor to represent law enforcement here in DuPage County. One of the things that I think came out of this day were 4 words, but in 2 parts. First responders. It was always a term that was used, but now significantly recognized after this day, and the sacrifice that first responders make. The second, as the chief mentioned, was never forget. It was probably 2 words that perhaps were said at one point, but now it is a constant reminder that we will never forget. Never forget the tragedy of that day, the sacrifice that our fire and police personnel, but in the end, it is what we do. It is what we are called to do, and it is what we do. I remember working that day. I was on the 3 to 11 shift, and I woke up that morning, and as all of us do, we turned the news on, and even the TV anchors were, a small plane has hit the tower. And I think we all had the reaction of, how could that even be? And then when we realized the second plane hit, and then the third and the fourth, we knew. I remember being called into work and being assigned to the high school, and we were just kind of there and really didn't know what to do. And then we went on a 12-hour day plan, and it was surreal. We were just driving around. We just didn't really know how to act and what to do. People were home. There was no community out, and it was just a day that we'll never forget. So I too bless all of our police and fire personnel, the sacrifices we make each day to serve our communities, because it is what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Newton. You know, many of us who are old enough to remember have our own personal memories of that day on September 11, 2001. Almost to the hour, 19 years ago, I was flying on a plane I left Dallas-Fort Worth Airport to fly to Oklahoma City. And it's only an hour flight, but I was in the air during the time that the first planes hit the tower in New York City. I didn't know anything about it. We landed at Oklahoma City, turned on my phone, had about 8 messages. It was early in the morning, so it was odd. And there were several from my wife, several from work, and my wife was panicking because she knew I was flying, saying that a plane, maybe it was an accident or not sure what happened yet, hit the World Trade Centers. I walked out of the airplane in Oklahoma City and it was complete chaos. Ultimate crazy chaos. People were running around looking for TVs. It was bedlam. I didn't still know what was going on. But I knew then and there that my world had changed and our world had changed completely forever. Now the time is 7:46, and I ask you to join us in taking a moment of silence at the exact time the first plane hit the World Trade Center towers. So please join us in a moment of silence. May we never forget you. Thank you. I want to thank you for joining us for our remembrance this year at the College of DuPage. During this very difficult year, we believe it's important to continue this tradition as we continue to keep the memory of those we lost alive. Next year, on the 20th anniversary of 9/11, we are planning a much larger commemoration and remembrance, and we hope that you will be able to join us here live in person next year. On behalf of all of us here at the College of DuPage, thank you for joining us. Please take care of each other and stay safe.